You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I do deliver it every day. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. You can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Before we get into intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Repeat offender, Blake Vartanian, Realty Pro 100 is in the house. Welcome.
Thank you, Ron. Pleasure to be here.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And remember, I've got this great team, so if you need help, that's where we're going to have it. But just remember, I'm on the air from 9 to 10.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
So I can't answer that phone. I can't be the first one to answer the phone all the time, but I do try to get as many of them as I can. Hey, let's take a look. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. It is fun to celebrate. Now, today we look at some of our celebrations, and every once in a while, you got to celebrate something that is more, I don't know, dutiful, responsible. I don't know if I want to ever say I'm responsible. Does anybody ever say that I'm responsible? Yeah, maybe every once in a while. But today is National Special Education Day. So it is something that is very, very near and dear to my heart. So we watch that one. Those of you that are pet lovers, today is National Mutt Day. And for those of us that have beaten anorexia, yes, we are ready for this one because I've beaten it. Today is National Fritter Day. Yeah, so we'll enjoy that one. Where do you get the best fritters? I don't know. I like apple fritters. I look here. Sometimes there's other kinds of fritters. Dough, whatever. Let's take a look at the markets today. Coming back a little bit. The Dow is now down 30 points. The S&P 500 is up 1.76. NASDAQ down 314. Oil's up $1 a barrel. Ow! Yeah, that means gas prices, even in the rest of the country. Venezuela, we still lead the mainland in pricing for gasoline, but the rest of the country might start getting up there too. They've been cheap for a while. U.S. 10-year Treasury now is at 0.956. Those of you that are on fixed income, you're probably feeling that a little bit better. Why is that happening? Well, we'll talk about that in the Mortgage Minute in the next segment, why we're seeing that interest rate jump up. But let's see what else is going on in the world. Yeah, well, Killer Cuomo, my opinion, Killer Cuomo, right? He's responsible for more COVID-19 deaths. Again, my opinion, than anybody in the world, having sent seniors with COVID-19 back into senior homes. Well, he's been saying that he doesn't want to use the vaccines until he can review it, like he knows what the heck he's doing, right? I mean, the guy has no clue about most anything.
Nothing like a little air superiority.
But I did see that about 30 million doses of vaccine have gone to the UK. They've approved it now. So they'll start with their distribution and usage starting next week. And we're going to see what our CDC has to say about it, right? Or FDA, they're all working on validation of the virus. But in the meantime, the Center for Disease Control, CDC, on Wednesday announced shorter coronavirus-related quarantine periods ahead of the anticipated holiday travel. Hey, you got to wonder about this one. We had this 14-day quarantine. Now they're saying, well, it's 10 days without a COVID-19 test. What the heck does that test do anyway? Right? You go take the test and come back positive a couple hours later. And if you do have a test, then they're going to have that a little shorter for you. Again, CDC has come up with so many, they've gone back and forth more than a basketball, right? I mean, they go with everything is up one day, down another day, and you have to really wonder do they know what they're talking about? How are we supposed to believe them? Right? And I'm a big believer that I say, okay, how do I believe anything that comes from the state of Calizuela? Right? We hear from our governor, Gruesome, right? We shouldn't go out to restaurants, and then he does. We see in Los Angeles, the city council votes to close restaurants, and then city council members go to restaurants. Why is it that they're doing all that? And they tell us we can't, but they can. Well, obviously we know that they're better than us. Just ask them. Amazing, but that's what's going on right now. We're going to talk to you in the next segment. There are some issues going on right now that we're going to talk about in the jobs report. We did get the ADP jobs report came out today, not what we were hoping to see, but that jobs report's got some interesting information in it. We can learn from it. Unfortunately, you got the politicians, they know everything, so they don't have anything left to learn.
It is what it is.
Yeah, so let's see what else is going on in the new. Oh, pent-up demand. Ooh, we're going to talk about pent-up demand also. Hey, if we finally get out of this Calizuela, this lockdown, this imprisonment. Oh, wait, I thought the Constitution says that we have to have due process before they can tell us we have to stay in our houses or imprison us. Oh, but I digress here. What do you think is going to happen with purchases in our economy as soon as all these lockdowns end? Do you think there's going to be some pent-up demand? Think it might be in real estate? Think it might be in restaurants? It might be. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, just from my years and years of experience, I anticipate this will be the biggest holiday season ever. Right? You're going to really tell Grandma and Grandpa after they haven't been able to see little Johnny for the last 7 months that they can't get him a present for Christmas, for Hanukkah, for any of the holidays? I don't think so. I think that you know better than that.
You know better than that.
Exactly. What else is going on? Let's see. Oh, the lame street media. You got to love this one. Another one of these lame media conversations. I heard this morning, and they got this guy on Channel 5 News. He's totally worthless, Eric Spillman, right? I mean, he talks about politics. He's a big anti-Trumper, so as soon as he starts talking, change the channel, right? That's what I do. So he comes out and he says, well, Bill Barr said that the United States Attorney General said that there is no voter fraud. Well, we got to get back and listen to what the Attorney General said, because what he said is he hasn't seen the evidence. Now, when you have all he has to do is watch TV. Oh, wait. Channel 5 doesn't show that. Channel 2 doesn't show it. Channel 7 doesn't show it. Channel 11 doesn't show it. Oh, yeah, I guess you have to go to you better go online, and maybe YouTube will let it show up. Facebook, they won't let it show, right? But there is evidence. I mean, they showed testimony yesterday of people that have signed under penalty of perjury affidavits of truckloads of ballots being delivered. Is that not some sort of fraud? Do you wonder about that? Could it be that maybe if we don't look for something, we don't see it? Does it not just 74 million people voted one way and they don't want to even look and see what's going on? Now, I don't know whether there is or isn't. I'm not out there investigating, but I can tell you this much. When you see all of the statistics and all of the history, and all of a sudden it changes. 150 years since we've had an election where the incumbent president got more votes than he got in the first term and lost. 150 years. Does it not give you a little instance that maybe we should be looking a little deeper? And then you have hundreds of affidavits, and you wonder, why did they go to this Dominion voting system? Oh, yeah, Hugo Chavez in Venezuela uses it. That must be the reason that we had to go to it in the United States, the way that only in the Democrat counties, though. I wonder why that might be. I got to keep on looking and what else is going on in the news. President Obama did say that he made a mistake. It's the first time ever. I couldn't believe that I finally heard that. He said that he did not give Dolly Parton the Medal of Freedom. Yeah, so kind of surprised me. I didn't think that President Obama ever made a mistake. Just ask him. Moving right along, what are we seeing? What else is going on in the marketplace? The president, Facebook, Twitter, they're probably not too happy right now. What has been one of the president's signature achievements? Yeah, it's been defense. And now he says that he might veto the defense bill if the Section 230 is not terminated. That's the protection that Facebook and Twitter get in the marketplace. Be fascinating to see if that's in the bill. And yes, we did see that there's some progress on a stimulus package. Now, Mitch McConnell wants something pretty small. The other of the bipartisan group in the Senate, about triple the size, $900 billion. Nancy Pelosi. Oh, wait, I forgot to even tell you this one. This is the best one ever. Nancy Pelosi has decided, I probably should get us the breaking news. Nancy Pelosi is calling the House of Representatives back into session because they need to vote on cannabis and private ownership of lions and tigers. I'm not making that up. Look in the news. It's there. Can you believe that that's what they're coming back to Congress to? That's the most important task of Nancy Pelosi, unless maybe she just has to go get her hair done. I don't know. I just throw that out there for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Real estate with home values surging, it's still affordable to buy right now? Don't ask Diana Olick on CNBC. She has no clue. We've got our featured home brought to you by MySoCalLender.com, and we're going to talk about the real estate market. Is there a way to make a living in the real estate market? We'll talk about that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Real Estate Radio is hosted by local real estate and finance expert Ron Siegel. The purpose of this show is to help consumers understand what's really going on in our local real estate market. We're teaching you the why and the how-to, so you'll always be one step ahead of everyone else. Whether you need to sell your home for top dollar, refinance and save money, or even buy a bargain in Southern California, Ron Siegel can help. Call Ron directly at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Take advantage of speaking with Ron anytime you're entering a real estate transaction. Having someone who can answer all of your questions that truly cares about you and your family's best interest is priceless. Call Ron Siegel today and you'll be glad you did. 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or you can visit realestateradio.com for more info.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Trimming of your retirement does not include losing your house. However, due to today's lower stock market, higher medical bills, and taxes, many retirees face this very problem. This is why it is necessary that you, as a baby boomer considering retirement within the next 10 years, understand reverse mortgages and what one could do for you or your parents. A reverse mortgage could make it possible for you or your parents to travel, buy a second home, or start a new business. For more information about reverse mortgages, just call our off-air number at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit realestateradio.com and click the free workshop button.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. Yes, they are our new sponsor for the segment, Geneva Financial. My Home Mortgage, you can text that, My Home Mortgage, no spaces, to 79564. Get that dream home, find that property, find that financing that you need. Geneva Financial. Dow Jones now down 27. NASDAQ down 14. The S&P 500 is up 1.58. 10-year Treasury's fallen backwards a little. Now it's up 2 basis points to 0.95. And the mortgage-backed securities, they're up 3 basis points. That means interest rates are down. Mortgage-backed securities and interest rates always move in opposite directions. It's a mathematical function. But why is all of this happening? Because all those numbers, they're right there on that super secret website, google.com. So here's the issue. Yesterday, mortgage bonds had a large sell-off, leaving a lot of people wondering why. Part of the reason to pull back from the all-time high set on Monday, but also the ISM Manufacturing Index showed some signs of inflation. That's bad news when it comes to the bond market. The index showed that order volume is very strong. That's demand. But suppliers can't meet orders because they don't have people that want to work. Serious problem there. They expect higher input costs and prices, which can result in inflation. As we know, inflation is the enemy of the bond market, and once it caught wind of the signs of inflation, the bond market sold off. Got the ADP report today, showed that there was a gain of 307,000 new jobs. We were expecting over 400,000 jobs. Ow! Not good report right there. October's report was revised slightly higher by 39,000 from 365 to 404,000. But again, it's a disappointment after losing almost 20 million jobs in March and April. We've recaptured about 10 million. Unfortunately, the main reason that jobs are not coming back is, small businesses. They have expired. There were some that got the PPP money. I call them zombie businesses because they were almost out anyway. The PPP money just let them survive a little bit. So that's problems. Hey, there is a program in California now. If you did get federal PPP money and you don't want to pay it back, who wants to pay it back? Why would you? Right, there's grants from the state of California. Give me a call and I'll give you the link to the website where you can get a grant to maybe help you pay that back. Also, we're going to see on Friday when we get the big jobs report, there's 90,000 temporary census workers are expected to hit the unemployment roll. So that will not be good as well. We're going to look at also a couple of numbers here. I'm going to give you just a little bit. I'm not going to go too deep into these. The mortgage bankers came out with their numbers. And the reason I'm not going to go too deep is they always report for the prior week. Mortgage bankers are not real good at doing the adjustments for holidays. So we had Thanksgiving last week. I know we weren't allowed to celebrate it according to the Governor Gruesome, but hey, some of us did. So the mortgage bankers released their application data showing that overall application volume decreased by 0.6% from the previous week. Refinances were down 5% last week, but are 102% higher year over year. Purchase volume was up 9% last week, 28% over last year without any inventory to sell. Interest rates are about 1% lower than they were last year. The mortgage bankers say 2.92. is the interest rate. Yeah, you got to pay about 1/3 of a point to get that. So there's the numbers for you. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. Check them out, ronismylender.com, or text my home mortgage to 79564. Chatting this morning, we are going to chat this morning. You know, one of the things I talk about real estate all the time on the broadcast. You probably knew that. And we talk about anything that affects the roof over your head and your bank account. But we're going to chat a little bit different today because I hear all these folks out there talking about, you know, this is America. I know Calizuela is still part of America. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it. But there are opportunities everywhere. All you need to do is act on the opportunities. And one of the opportunities in this world, I believe, is that there's still a place for professional guidance. And when you're looking at buying probably the largest purchase of your life, you're taking on the largest debt of your life. Do you really want to do that just by going to google.com, where we already know that they censor what you see? Right? So let's chat this morning. Blake Vartanian is in the house, Realty Pro 100. He is the leader of a successful real estate organization. And you've done it a couple times. It's not like it's your first time doing this.
Yeah. So over 40 years, it's been quite an interesting journey to when you were talking about interest rates and where I started at the beginning of my career in Ronald Reagan's first year as president, and interest rates coming out of the Jimmy Carter administration, where it wasn't unusual to see rate sheets in the low 20s with 4 or 5 points to the seller.
4 or 5 points?
Yeah, to the seller.
Wow.
Yeah, that was mandatory at that time. You couldn't negotiate those away.
Holy cow. So 4 or 5 points plus. Well, I think my first mortgage, I think, was in the early 83, 84, so
Yes.
a long time ago. Double digit. I mean, you talk about right now, interest rates. I just locked a loan before we went on air at 2.5%.
Wow, that's amazing.
30 years fixed. Right? And you think about that and you say, I was over 10% higher when I bought my first house.
And what's crazy about that is that we went basically to 1998 before interest rates dropped under 8%. And when they hit 8%, most people said, well, if they'll get closer to 7, I'll be really happy. And then when they got closer to 7, a lot of people said, well, I'm going to defer and wait till they get closer to 6. And so they play that game of never making the right decision based on the information that's readily available. And it's interesting that over time, we've talked about this before, that appreciation is one of the key elements of real estate and capitalism. Is that in some circles you would call it inflation, but in real estate we call it appreciation. And so it's a hedge against the inflation. So if you believe that the government borrowing and spending as much money as it does is going to lead to a future level of inflation that's higher than the current trend line, one of the ways to protect yourself from that is by investing in real estate and leveraging that investment.
That's an interesting concept, because I've been watching this commercial on TV. And I don't know if you've seen it, Blake. It's Chuck Woolery, the original host of Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, yes.
And he does a commercial and he says, what if I put $12,000 worth of, in a safe, $12,000 worth of gold versus $12,000 in cash? The thing that he misses there, which is what you just brought up, is what if you put $12,000 into real estate at that time?
Yes.
Because in the 70s, $12,000 worth of real estate would have bought you a $60,000 house, which was a pretty substantial house.
Yes.
Right? And what would that have done till today? Because you would have put 12,000, you have 60,000, and all of that appreciation. That's pretty massive.
Well, if you just put $12,000 into your mattress in, let's say, 1980, it would still be $12,000, assuming somebody didn't come along and steal it.
Right. Exactly.
And that's always a possibility, right?
Wouldn't get you as much, right? I mean,
No.
12,000 then you could have bought a house. Today you could buy almost buy a car.
Well, and I would say, at $12,000 cash in 1980, I didn't buy the new Corvette because it was $12,000 out the door. I bought the Z28 at $9,000 out the door.
Exactly.
And now that same Corvette, fully dressed, I realize the technology's better and the cars perform better. They have more horsepower, but you could easily spend between $60,000 and $100,000 on a Corvette, and brand new. I'm talking about. Sure. And the house would be that $60,000 house. Then would be at least $600,000 today.
Yeah, and that's the concept right there. So that $12,000 in gold, I think they said is, I don't know, $100,000, but $600,000 is the real estate value.
Yes.
And that's amazing. Now, and I kind of digressed because I did want to chat with you a little bit more today about real estate as a career. So obviously you've been doing it for 40 years, so you must think it's a decent career.
You know what? I would say for me, I've had a love-hate relationship with it. There are times when I'm thoroughly in love with it, like I am right now. And there have been times in my career where I thought, this is the most challenging and difficult experience of my life because of the, of the decisions that other people have made that I'm now trying to fix and correct for them. I'm certainly not saying that, I haven't made my share of, ill-informed decisions along the way. That's how we learn, right? Right. And so
I laugh all the time.
It's great.
Being an entrepreneur yourself, you probably laugh at this also.
Yeah.
I hear people say, well, Donald Trump went bankrupt 4 times. Well, his businesses did. Yeah. That means he tried.
Yes. Right. And oftentimes what people fail to realize is that other people set policies that affect your business.
Right.
So just because somebody failed in business, it doesn't mean, in 1978, I would have cornered the market on the 8-track players and thought those were the future of the, of technology when it came to listening to music, because it was really cool compared to the 4-track player.
And there's a lot of people that probably don't even know what the heck you're talking about. Right?
Exactly.
I know not one of my kids would know an 8-track or 4-track. They don't even know what a cassette is. And you and I, since you and I are old, Blake. Hey, we're going to talk more about real estate as a career when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We're going to also chat about the bad information you might have got this morning on CNBC from Diana Olick. We're going to talk about home values surging. Is it affordable to buy a house right now? And yes, we've got that featured home brought to you by mysocallender.com. All that and more. You can reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Hi, we're here with Ron Siegel, the host of Real Estate Radio. Ron, welcome to the studio. Give us insight as to what your show is all about.
Hi, Eric. Thanks for having me. Thanks for asking me that question. The reason we developed Real Estate Radio is right now there is an abundance of misinformation out there. So Real Estate Radio is a show designed to give Southern California a focal point for their real estate knowledge, as well as a place to go just in case they might need anything real estate related.
So how are you helping people?
That's actually pretty simple. People need advice. So it really doesn't matter who you are. If you have any real estate questions, we're here to help. Whether you're buying a home, selling, you're experiencing a loan modification, short sale, foreclosure, there are a lot of things going on in this marketplace.
How can people get a hold of you?
Real easy. All you have to do is call. The number is 1-800-306-1990. Press option 1.
Interesting times in the market right now. Where do you think the markets are going from here?
That's a great question. All I can say is this. The housing market came down one house at a time, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build it one house, one family at a time. So the best thing that anyone can do is access the free advice that we really want to give you. And to do that, you simply need to call me. The number is 1-800-306-1990, option 1. I'd really love to help.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate below 3.5% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $300,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,300 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed to NMLS ID 217037. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. SLT Home Digest 79564. You'll find out there exactly what the county recorder knows about your property and what the market believes about your property. With home values surging, is it still affordable to buy right now? And if you were listening to CNBC this morning, Diana Olick gave you bad information, so ignore her. The next time she comes up with accurate information about real estate, it will also be her first time. So we want to give you some statistics. And I've got charts. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the KMET ABC News and Talk 1490, their video, TV, you'll see the chart that's on our screen right now. But it talks about housing inventory at an all-time low. Realtor.com just reported there are 39% fewer homes for sale today than there were last year. At the same time, buyer demand remains strong. In a recent newsletter, research analyst and one of the greats in the industry, Ivy Zellman, she explained, quote, although the headwind of severe supply constraints in most markets has contributed to slight moderation in seasonally adjusted and year-over-year new pending contract growth for 2 consecutive months, albeit still growing strongly, the underlying strength of buyer demand, particularly for this time of year, remains apparent, unquote. Whenever there's a shortage in supply of an item, that's in high demand. The price of that item increases. That's exactly what's happening in the real estate market right now. As a result, home values are surging. This is great news if you're planning to sell your house. On the other hand, as either a first-time or repeat buyer, this may instead seem like troubling news. Purchasers, however, should realize that the price of a house is not as important as the monthly cost. Here's how it breaks down. There are several factors that influence the cost of a home. 2 of the major ones. One is the price of the home. Second, the mortgage rate at which a buyer can borrow funds necessary to purchase the home. How do these factors impact affordability? The National Association of Realtors, NAR, produces a housing affordability index, which takes these factors into account and determines an overall affordability score for housing. According to NAR, the index, which is showing on the screens right now, quote, measures whether or not a typical family earns enough income to qualify for a mortgage loan on a typical home at the national and regional levels based on the most recent price and income data, unquote. Their methodology states, quote, to interpret the indices, a value of 100 means that a family with the median income has exactly enough income to qualify for a mortgage on a median priced home. An index above 100 signifies that the family earned the median income has more than enough income to qualify for a mortgage loan on a median priced home, assuming a 20% down payment. So the higher the index, the more affordable it is to purchase a home. The graph is showing you that the only time, well, pretty much the only time, we did see in 2019, the index was about 2 points higher than it is today. And 2016, it was about 7 points higher. Other than that, the only time it's been higher than we are today is when we had all the distressed properties. Do you want to go back to those days? The blue bars on the graph talk about today's affordability. And we can see that homes are more affordable now than they were from 1990, 1991, 1992. I'm not going to go to all of them because it's all the way to 2008. Then it starts again 2017 to 2018. Buy a home today is just a little less affordable than it was last year, but still very, very affordable. Think about the numbers. And I look at some of these things and you say, well, the average loan price right now, the median home loan price, $370,000, but the median home is $330,000. Think about some of these numbers. And when you hear statistics like this from people like Diana Olick, who's giving you bum information, it drives me batty because I know that real estate is a massive part of people's wealth. Like 200 times, people that own their own home, 200 times more wealth than somebody that rents. Just average numbers. So think about some of those statistics. That's the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. So let's chat more. We're continuing our conversation. Blake Vartanian is in the house, Realty Pro 100, chatting a bit today about real estate. We got into the chat last segment, and because of my, I don't know if it's ADD or what it is, we got off on a rabbit trail, which I am known to do. So we were talking about real estate as a profession. And, we hear these things about Zillow and Realtor.com and the internet, and it just fascinates me because we did this in right around 2000, right? We had the .com. Everybody could do everything online.
Yes.
And now it's amazing how we start seeing people going back to getting professional guidance with their 401k and their stock portfolio, right? JP Morgan, Chase, and Morgan Stanley. Those guys are doing really well.
Well, and we started Realty Pro 100 in 2017 with the idea that we were going to slow the process down and provide guidance and take utilize technology in the way that technology is intended, but to work alongside the client over the course of their lifetime, not just a single transaction, and help them build a wealth plan and a development plan that would actually create a retirement that was worthy and representative of their life's work. So I always go back to my grandfather, Tom, who worked at Paramount Studios for 50 years. He was well respected in his career, but his retirement was $78 a month. And my grandmother got that $78 a month all the way up till 2008 when she died. So He spent 50 years working for a multi-billion-dollar international company that's owned by Viacom today. And he was there from 1924 to 1974. He ran the communications and was very influential. Yet when it came to retirement, the company did not necessarily represent a good return on his 50 years worth of service. He got the watch and He got the retirement.
No food.
Yeah, right. And
Grandma can't eat, but he got the watch.
Well, they lived in Westminster, and they honestly ate government cheese, and they had the milk, powdered milk from the federal programs, and they lived in a mobile home. And that was exactly the opposite of my dad's parents, who bought real estate and who lived the Southern California dream because they bought property, they bought investment property. They were constantly leveraging and improving their situation. So as a third generation real estate practitioner, I've learned how to sit there and help a family. We still have clients in this company who were my clients back in 1985, who other agents in our company are representing today, because I don't compete against our agents. I work with the agents in their career to help them build their portfolio of successful, successful dealings and fair dealings, so that the client always gets more value than they end up investing in us to represent them.
So you brought something up there that's a key point, because one of the things that I'm disillusioned with in the real estate industry is the Department of Real Estate, surprise, surprise, as far as a government organization, has the barrier of entry unbelievably light.
Yes.
Right? You go and you take a test that's absolutely worthless because to what you do. I've taken the test, so I understand.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with what we actually practice.
Exactly.
Little to nothing to do.
I mean, I am legally allowed to represent a buyer. I am not qualified to represent a buyer. Right, and I've been trading real estate for 40 years.
And that's a bold statement for you to make, because it's a big admission for any professional to have to say, I went through all of that education and it didn't teach me the actual process of representing a client.
Right, and the thing that I want to get to there, and I could finance anything that I'm pretty good at, right? Doing that transaction though, I submit that we really need a mentor.
Yes,
and that's what you're talking about here with what you've established at Realty Pro 100.
Yeah. So what we basically do is we have amazingly talented professionals who like to work from the spirit of collaboration. So even though we're independent contractors and we're technically competitors with one another, we realize that by sharing, we all get more.
Sure.
And we end up with great abilities that strengthen our client's position. So many of our associates have basically almost a waiting line, if you would, of clients who want to do business with them because of the value that the agent brings. And I'll give you just one example. We have an agent in our firm who came to me about 7 years ago. And he said, I want to build a practice, and I think I can do it in 5 years. And I said, well, why do you want to take 5 years? He ended up coming to me in year 3 and saying, you know what, I just hit the goal that we set 3 years ago.
Nice.
Because we worked alongside of each other, and not from a micromanagement standpoint, but from a self-drive, because we all have a certain amount of internal desire.
Sure.
Right?
You just have to find out how we get to manifest that.
Right. Even if you don't watch TV all day, it's still a desire.
Right.
It just might not be
profitable.
Yeah, it may not be. Yeah, exactly. So how it's channeled, how you put your effort in being in the real estate profession is you typically get back what you put into it or more.
Sure.
And you don't have somebody else dictating whether you get a raise or not. It's merit based.
Well, one of the things I was told from very, very early on as an entrepreneur, and also coming from a family of commission salespeople, commission sales is the only profession where you get paid exactly what you're worth.
So
right, if you work hard, you get paid well. If you don't work hard, well, your salary is going to see it.
And I always say, in the beginning, people would question, well, are you, is it more about the money? And I said, no, it's not about the money. It's zero. But I was also able to, help people in significant ways. And we've done everything from if somebody's in a bad situation, we've helped people get out of a bad situation by selling their property for little or no money.
Sure.
Because we wanted to do the right thing in service to their situation. So every situation is unique, every person's unique, and it deserves that customization. When you look at some of these other models that are built on these big international companies that are losing billions of dollars trying to compete in the real estate profession, it's because they're trying to get one size fits all. They're saying one size pricing, one size advice, and they're not looking to help you build wealth. They're looking to help you sell that one transaction so they can be transactionally rewarded and fit a formula that they've created, that they've sold to the investors as a winning problem solving issue that they never really get to profitability.
It's crazy, and that's the big firms, and it sounds almost to me like the internet solution, which is not to me a solution. And we're going to talk more with Blake Vartanian when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We're going to also get that featured home brought to you by mysocallender.com. Reach me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We'll be back in just a few.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation mortgage adoption plan. You be the judge if it's right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to map@ronsiegelradio.com or call today Ron Siegel 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporation and MLS 217037 and decal BRE number 018694552.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The featured home today being brought to you by mysocallender.com, mysocallender.com, 185 Pathway, Irvine, 92618. 3 bedrooms, 2 full and a half a bath. The home you've been waiting for, it says on the sheet here. Model perfect detached Primrose townhome in Portola Springs, located at the end of a peaceful cul-de-sac. I need some of those that music that has the doves in the background. The end of a peaceful cul-de-sac on a premium lot. Enter this stunning home from a covered porchway. Spacious, open floor plan with many upgrades throughout the residence to include plantation shutters, wood laminate flooring, recessed lighting, custom paint, flat panel TV pre-wire, in a great room and a master suite. Crown molding, upgraded baseboards. Sounds pretty nice. Jeannie Hackley has this property over at Berkshire Hathaway. The price, $885,000. Put 5% down. You're paying $5,083 a month. That includes the mortgage insurance, the homeowner's dues, estimated insurance, the liability insurance, and taxes. Put 10% down. You're going to pay $4,777 a month. Put 20% down, $4,152. Those of you keeping score at home, that would be an APR of 3.334, an APR of 3.21, and an APR of 3.048. Keeping the compliance people happy. My NMLS 217037. If you want more information about this featured home today, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with Jeannie, and we'll see what we can do for you. Again, 185 Pathway in Irvine, $885,000. You could be the buyer if the price is right. That is the featured home. So let's get back to our conversation. We were chatting this morning. Blake Vartanian is in the house. We're chatting about real estate. And he knows a little bit about it. He's only been doing it for about 400 years. So between the two of us, I don't even know how to think about how much time we have in this between the two of us.
It's longer than the average jail sentence.
Especially in Calizuela. No, you don't even have to go to Calizuela anymore. So, so we're talking about the idea of mentoring before the break. And the idea that you can get into real estate pretty simple. And people have this misconception, in my opinion, that you go and you take the dumb license that teaches you absolutely nothing about, you find out about water tracks and plank lots and all that kind of stuff. I don't even remember it anymore because it never gets used. But it doesn't help you for a career. And people have this impression that, you get your license and you sell a house, pretty simple. List a house, that's simple. And you make a lot of money, that's simple. And you go on your merry way. And I submit that there's no such thing in this lifetime that it's simple and you make a lot of money. You have to really work in real estate, don't you?
You do, and it's some people work really hard and they don't get the results that they're looking for, and they end up getting burned out and frustrated and tired because they speak a lot, but the words aren't necessarily the right words.
Sure.
So each one of us has our own dialogue that we're accustomed to utilizing. So I always go back to, I have friends from growing up in North Orange County that if I showed up in a jacket and a tie, they'd probably clip the tie, rip the jacket off, and say, you're not welcome in our house dressed like that.
Exactly.
Shorts, flip flops, and and a t-shirt, and you have to know.
I won't even say how many times I wear shorts because this table that's in front of me, you can't see what I'm wearing.
That's funny. So at least you're not in your mom's basement.
Exactly.
You escaped from that. So the main point is that we all learn from the time we're little things that we didn't know.
Sure.
And life is about a constant learning process. So
a journey.
Yeah, it's a journey. So if you're happy in your career, congratulations. If you're not, and you want to, learn about the real estate profession, or if you're in the real estate profession and you want to have a different conversation around helping people build their wealth, working in a collaborative environment, feel free to come in. And I like helping agents regardless of what company they work in, because it's that collaboration that was taught to me early on when other brokers in the local market in Yorba Linda invited me to their office, never tried to recruit me. They just said, come on down. We want you to know how we do business. So when you're on the other end of one of our deals, you'll understand how our office works, and that we'll always be professional, return your phone calls, make sure that, that we're telling the truth, and that we can work collaboratively to get our clients to the mutually desired conclusion, which is the close of escrow and the peaceful transfer of property.
This fascinates me because I do get to chat with a lot of real estate people all over the Southern California. Wherever you're in the sound of my voice, I've been there probably, and talk to real estate professionals in those areas. And I hear a lot of professionals tell me, well, our company doesn't provide any training. Right? Or I hung my license and they said, thank you, where's the deal? Right? That's not really your philosophy, is it?
No, and I'll tell you, Ron, back when I first got my license, my father told me he was second generation commercial broker in our family. My grandfather was a commercial focused real estate agent. My dad, commercial broker. And they said, go talk to this commercial brokerage. And it's an internationally named company, and so I'm not going to name the company. And I don't blame the company for what was being taught. I blame the individuals at the time. But what they said...
And the sign on the door doesn't do anything.
No.
Right? It's a person that's inside the office or
right.
the facility.
What's in their heart
right.
and their desire. And they spent the first day of training talking about how you were going to basically, I'm going to paraphrase it, and it's not necessarily the exact words they used, but the feeling I got was their whole desire and intention was for me to find a way to slam a deal and to get the client to the finish line. Yeah, almost like you would identify a used car salesperson.
Ouch.
Someone who's just looking to close a deal at any expense, at any cost. And I actually walked away from that company and that opportunity, and I chose to go into residential real estate because I wanted the opportunity to hand people the keys to their first house or to their next house. And
that's a great feeling, isn't it?
There's none better.
Right.
It's I don't care how many years I've done this. I love that photo when we get to do that photo and put it somewhere and see their smile as they're moving in. I learned a long time ago to get rid of the pickup truck so I don't have to help them move.
There you go.
But we did have that. We did have that learning curve at one point.
Yeah.
But when you think about all the people that are employed through the real estate process, it's a very important addition and contribution to the overall economy of the society we live in, because you have home inspectors, you have escrow people, lenders like yourself, they have assistants, they have team members, they have companies they work for. So if it's said that the average from home stagers to photographers, that it takes up to 53 people to make a real estate transaction take place, we have a lot of coordinating.
Sure.
So we're almost like the quarterback on the field when we're the real estate agent who's the real professional. And the real professional ones are the ones who answer their phone, don't let it go to voicemail. They're the ones who respond as quickly as possible to all inquiries, whether they are exhausted or not, because that's important.
Yeah,
because you never know who's calling you.
It's somebody else's dream. It's their life. It's their castle. I don't care whether it's a $50,000 mobile home or a $5 million mansion. That's somebody's castle. Love this conversation. If you want more information about the world of real estate, if you want more information about the career of real estate, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'd be happy to put you in touch with Blake. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to John and Sean who are engineering us. Thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.